When you were young, what was it that drew you to ballet and not another form of dance?
I think early on I knew that I wanted to dance, and I always found myself um, having recollections of my time in ballet. And at 7, I remember I was in the car with my mom, and I told her, "Mom, I wanna do this," because she had me in gymnastics, and I was doing some other extracurricular things, and she was like, "Okay, we have to make some decisions." And I was like, "No, I want to do this." And she said, "Okay, if you want to do this, then we have to get serious about it now." Because she had to learn with my sister, and all of the learning that she did. She doesn't have a dance background. All of the learning that she did to play catch up with my sister, she knew that she had to start earlier with me. And I'm very thankful for that support.
And did you take other forms of dance as well? I know you took gymnastics. We took gymnastics too. We
I
all took.
loved it.
But was your mother trying to give you, exposure to jazz or to, African dance or something else to see what spoke to you? So my curiosity is, what was it about ballet? And my other question would be, were you aware as a 7-year-old of a difference in the color of your skin to the other students?
Yeah, that's great. I I grew up with a very versatile background. My mom knew that we would go to the Kennedy Center and watch ballet companies perform, and she knew that in order to be in a ballet company, I had to be able to do other things. If that was really what I wanted, I had to do other things. And she also knew that the likelihood of a brown girl being in a ballet company, and that often many brown dancers make other decisions. Maybe they make decisions to go into companies that are more modern focused or more contemporary focused, or draw out of those forms in general and do something else. So she wanted me to be prepared for anything if this is the career that I decided to have. And so I grew up with a strong ballet focus, but I danced at a competition studio. I was a Washington Redskins junior all-star. I did the whole competition scene. I also danced in school. I went to performing arts middle school and high school, of all different types of dance. I have an African background. I was in several pre-professional companies, strong modern dance background. So I had to do it all, because she didn't want me to be discounted at all. If I was going to do this career, and if I decided later on I didn't want to do ballet, she didn't want me to have to, have another learning curve. She wanted me to be prepared and equipped. And so, yes, I had a very versatile background, and I'm also thankful that at USC Kaufman, that versatility continued. But she knew what that was going to look like, what a career for a little brown girl would or would not look like. And she didn't try to belittle me at all in those dreams. It wasn't until I was 12 years old that I became aware of it myself, when I was in a studio where traditionally they give you two tries at a level before they ask you to leave the school. And I was in my first year, where we started to go on point, and I went on point, even though I had a little bit of point training because I was dancing at 5 different studios at once. I had started point with this teacher, but not quite with this teacher, so I didn't have a consistent point stream, I guess, until I was 12. So at 12, when all of the other girls were going on point, I realized that I had stronger ankles or things like that, like because of my versatile background, and I felt that I was amongst the top of the class after my first year. So in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to move up to the next point level. Well, no, that didn't happen. At the end of the year, I was told that I was going to have to repeat, because they didn't think I was quite ready to move into that next level. And that next level, from then on up, those were considered the serious dancers, the dancers that they were going to get behind, the dancers that they were going to push to get into companies and support to get into companies. And that's where I wanted to be. and that didn't happen. And so midway through that second year, I was amongst even younger dancers that hadn't started point yet, and then they started to go on point, and I had already had this year of point training, and I'm like, why am I not up there? I didn't get it until midway through that year when my mom had a meeting with the director and was like, okay, hey, what's going on here? My daughter was definitely amongst the top of her class last year and should have moved up but didn't. What's going on? And the conversation was just deflected by the teacher. She said, and this is pretty much in quote, does she do other things? And my mom said, oh, well, she's dancing here, she's doing this, she's doing that. She said, oh, I don't feel that her facility meets the criteria of what a ballet dancer should have. I'm wondering if she does other things, like does she play sports? Does she play basketball? And my mom said, so you're telling me that at 12 years old, you're saying that my daughter can't have a career in dance? And she said yes. And so early on, I knew, and that year was the first year that I had even, I had dealt with the color of my skin, for one, but also depression. At 12 years old, I had stopped dancing for the rest of that year because I was told that I wasn't going to be moving up and I was going to leave. So my mom took me out for the rest of the year. That's a lot of money that she would be spending for them to just tell me no. So I didn't go back to that ballet studio. And I remember, even though I was doing other things, I was dancing at other studios not doing ballet, I felt a hole in my heart. And at 12, I was depressed. So I think there was something wrong there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you had to experience that.
So what changed? What happened?
I was about 7th grade, 8th grade. My mom ran into one of the teachers that would have changed my life for the better. He was from our area, but had trained overseas at Bolshoi. And he just so happened to be a Black male. He was picked up through Kirov in DC. From Kirov, he had this beautiful facility, tall, beautiful, elegant. His name is Oscar Hawkins. He trained at Bolshoi and came back from Bolshoi after his career to start his own school. And at 8th grade, he was the saving blessing that helped me to realize, oh no, I can do this.